Hello and welcome back. So I know it's been a very, very long time since we last saw each other, ladies and gentlemen, and don't worry, we are getting back on the right track because all throughout RageCon 3, you're going to be getting basically almost exclusive DSP cringe moments literally all throughout the month of January. So I hope you're ready for this because we've got a bit of catching up to do. So when I did the 2020 worst moments regarding DSP, Dark Side Phil Gaming, I was surprised to discover that actually a lot of the problems that occurred with Phil that year was his inflated sense of self-importance, a crippling gambling addiction, and his complete inability to face any sort of repercussions or consequence apart from a slightly deflated reputation. Because, let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, if you are familiar with the worst moments of 2020. There were a lot of really bad moments in 2020, don't get me wrong. But remember, DSP made nearly $25,000 in the span of 6 months just for wearing a vest. And I can't even earn minimum wage just for 1 month when I do my Patreon and all that. How whack is that? And even then, it should have been double than that. But then again, Patreon and PayPal take away so much in tax that I'm basically left with nothing. They basically take half my earned money away. So what the hell, Patreon? What the actual hell? I'm talking about the site, not my actual patrons and all that. I just wanted to make that distinction very, very clear before we go any further. Okay, now that little rant is out of the way, I think it's time we catched up because there's 2021, there's 2022, and then in just 1 month, it'll be 2023. So there's going to be a fair amount to catch up on. So if you guys want to check out the original videos for yourselves, they are all by Secret Limited, and make sure to check them out. The dude absolutely deserves it. Make sure to do so. And let's get started. Now, the way we're going to do these videos, by the way, is that we're covering all 10 parts of like the worst moments. So they're going to be split into 10 separate videos. So if you're not satisfied with one, or you want to know what my full opinions about certain bad moments are, then, you know, it makes it easier to like circumnavigate so you don't have to like scroll through each video. So let's get started. So there's going to be a lot of things to go over. So let's just get this started, shall we? Here we go. There he is. I know. Videos for the ages.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Phil here. I am happy with my life, as imperfect as it is, and I'm incredibly grateful for everything that I have. I don't have funds to do anything with right now, okay?
What I don't have any empathy for him at all for is guilting it to his subscribers or his followers to give him money.
And don't ever speak up again about it, because no one cares.
DSP was doing the whole Pokemon shit nearly 2 years before she actually did it. That's really interesting. You're caught up on the trends there, DSP, on guilt tripping.
You don't know anything about it, okay?
They owe you nothing. Let's get right into the news.
It's a decade later, you're begging for $10 and $20 to pay your rent.
And if they want to see you play a particular game and you say, hey, I can't afford it, yes, they're going to be upset. And they're going to keep demanding it.
You know, I sort of recognize that woman's voice because I'm pretty sure I did I did like some kind of like session with her about going over like one of my YouTube channels and stuff like that. I'm more than I must find that out again. I must find that video.
The reason why the company I worked for gets away with it is because of people like you.
DSP, what is wrong with you?
Well, I guess we're gonna find out exactly what's going on. So, yeah. That seems such a long time ago now. Wow.
calling all nations around the world. The worst 2021 moments is among us. Thank you for taking the time and dedication to experience Phil's train wreck from start to finish. If you enjoy the video, press the like button.
7.56k subscribers. How many is Secret Limited? He is on double that. That's not bad.
Comment below, share, and subscribe to the Secret YouTube channel. Your support means a lot where other people around the YouTube world can experience the very same video too. Are we all good? Does that sound good? Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it. Number 10.
Why did I already lose 50% health? Fuck this. I couldn't dodge. I tried twice, it didn't work. She starts the fight with a fucking bullshit move. Fuck this.
That's it. So very much.
All through the day, you'll get a lot of experience from a lot of great people. I hope to be one of them. And we're going to talk about God of War today.
GDC is the world's largest professional game industry event where programmers, artists, producers, game designers, and others involved in the development of interactive games and virtual reality gather to exchange ideas, present lectures, and shape the future of the industry.
So in the previous level, as I mentioned, the theme is the shock arrow, and we try to deliver on that all throughout the level. But what you may not have noticed is that the shock arrow actually ceases around the 3/4 point in the level. Because we've shown you that these new items and abilities give you lots of different gameplay in the different levels, the flow is motivating. And most importantly, we can actually use that motivation to prioritize exploration. Here's a quick example. I want you to watch what the player does here as he boats around.
Oh.
Taste of Vanir magic led him to new forms of experimentation.
We're back.
And new levels of depravity.
Look where we are, we're back.
Alright.
Okay, so in this example, the player is exploring the hub. They've been correctly taught the shock arrow mechanic. And thanks to the design work done by Kai Zheng, they've also been told that shock arrows mean interesting themes and that there's a lot of different variety and a lot of different gameplay, right? So we've made a convincing promise to the player. So watch it one more time, and I want you to watch just what the camera behavior does.
The taste of Vanir magic led him to new forms of experimentation.
We're back.
And new levels of depravity.
Look where we are, we're back.
Boom, and there it is. He saw a shock crystal, right? He has been taught correctly. He has been promised interesting gameplay. And because he is returning to the hub, he is thinking, oh, I feel like doing one of those. It's good for players to feel motivated via UI or completion percentages. These are very valid design techniques and tools. But it's also good if players are self-motivated because they're actually seeking out interesting content. If this player likes shock crystal scenarios, then he can go and find more of them on his own. Players are trained that new abilities will be unlocked in the levels, and that in turn, interesting scenarios will be delivered. So the promise becomes more than just completion percentages. The promise becomes interesting scenarios.
You see, okay, I'll just pause this right now, because listen, as something of a game, listen, for those who have not caught, well, for the last couple of years, ladies and gentlemen, I've sort of like obsessed over the idea of game design myself. I mean, I had a very, very strong model for exactly a design layout for a video game anyway, and I think what this the presenter here say is absolutely true, is that usually whenever there's like situations involved when you have to like target something very specific, then that target has to be laid out so incredibly specifically that to the player, I mean, this is something that could go as far back as, let's say, Banjo-Kazooie, probably even further, is that if you see like a trail and it has like items involved and they're at all necessary for things like currency or for things like you could get really cool rewards out of them, it makes sense. It makes sense where in open world games, any linear games, to collect things, and they are to aid and progress in your game, and you get to unlock new content and new ways of being able to do the same things, but slightly differently, and most times for the better. Now, then again, this sort of thing will apply more to these sorts of games. It's not really the sort of thing that is technically the thing that applies in the game I had in question, because certain different genres within games are like very, very things that you have to question, and in terms from like a design philosophy. But I see exactly what the point is. And goodness knows why, if completely at random, they chose a clip from DSP's live stream. But fair enough. I mean, okay, I guess. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Joseph sees as they use you're playing God of War as an example of how they teach players the game rules for the levels or whatever. Your face is blurred out, but you can totally tell that it's you and your audio. That's illegal. Huh? Just so they know, that's illegal.
What?
You at least have to ask me for permission, so that I can give you permission, and then they can say, okay, it's a fair use of it. You can't just steal someone's gameplay.
Phil, that's fair use means fair use. It means that they were not going to make any money out of this. It's just to set. What? Okay, we're starting off with this. We're starting off Phil being triggered by something completely inconsequential, and something that should have. Phil, you should be a little bit, if somebody picked apart my footage and they'd wanted to use it as an example about probably what not to do, or how completely disjointed, my choice of, background furnishings are for my videos and stuff like that, fair enough. At least, they gave some time out, and maybe it was something completely at random. But Phil, come on now. You don't even look upset either. You don't even look angry. You just say shit because you think that it's more important to have your audience believe that you're on your side, not what you think is actually truthful in the matter. Phil, that's an L take right there.
Block their face out and use it at your conference. So they used my gameplay as an example of how they used in-game tools to teach me how to play the game. That's cool. That means it was effective. They had effective tools. The player was able to learn. That's actually good. But that's monetized content. The advertisement rights are for YouTube to advertise, and they're not supposed to be able to just steal it. So that's kind of messed up that they did that. But if someone takes your content and uses it for their own purposes without permission, that is not fair use. Commentary, criticism, transformative work, those are all fair use. Taking something out of someone's gameplay, blurring their face, and using it in your own creative project has nothing to do with your...
If Phil was concerned that nobody would be able to recognize him, don't worry. There's no difficulty in that, Phil. Also, literally, they could have done this to anybody else, and I don't think anybody else would have had an issue with it. Because how much money do you actually think GDC is actually is going to make out of this? Probably next to nothing, but you know what I mean?
Original is not fair use at all. Darkness says you deserve credit for it. Yeah, like at the very least, all right, if you're going to use someone else's content, at least give them a plug. Like, be like, oh, okay, so I used it in this example.
Well, they could have just maybe they could have just something that like a little black box down here with credits DSP Gaming. Okay, maybe that's the one thing perhaps they could have done. But maybe perhaps I'm not entirely sure if that's like 100% necessary for this sort of thing. But what do I know?
GDC, but then put on the screen courtesy of DSP Gaming channel on YouTube, right? It should just be, I just steal it and fucking edit your face out and now act like it's not you. It's fucked up, but these people just do whatever they do, man.
Yeah, fair enough. So, the only real thing I can actually take away from any of this is the fact that Phil just came across as somewhat quite bitter about the whole situation, which is technically... It's amazing how actually that's the very first thing that comes into his mind, is to just act extremely bitter about something that really shouldn't matter that much. I mean, oh well, it is what it is, but to be honest, I don't think there's a great deal to say about this. This is just more of like a very, very specific context given moment of Phil just kind of being an ass for no reason, apart from that's what he chose was easiest, as opposed to saying, okay, maybe we should take a look at that. Maybe they... Come on, Phil, that could have been better handled, and you know that too. But anyway, that concludes part 1 of DSP's worst moments of 2021. Make sure to catch us again next time, where there's going to be probably a lot more, and maybe they're a little bit more serious than this. I'm because if that's just the number 10, then that's it. I mean, hey, the number 10 for the previous list was just Phil being an ass most of the time anyway. So this is just maybe square it down to one specific thing. So catch us for a little bit more next time. Take care and bye-bye for now. I still got it.